Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is exactly less than a week away. Now, here are some of the takings from this fight. Jake Paul puts in the clause of the contract that Anthony Joshua should not weigh more than 245 pounds on fight nights. And from every indication, it seems like Anthony Joshua has already made weight. How is this fight going to go? I want to guarantee everybody that this fight will not go the way people expect it to go. There are several factors that could influence how this fight is going to end next week. And to me, some of these factors will work against Anthony Joshua. Yeah, you can go on to say that Jake Paul is not a real fighter. He's not an experienced boxer. And he is nowhere near the level of Anthony Joshua. But this will only put more pressure on AJ. Remember when AJ fought against Francis Ngannou? Francis was not a boxer, but Francis had a chip on his shoulder. He has just performed really well against Tyson Fury, scoring a knockdown in the third round. And he is widely regarded as a very, very, very good fighter. Even though he's not a boxer, he was coming from the UFC as a UFC heavyweight champion, fighting against heavyweight boxers. So it made a lot of sense. But in the case of Jake Paul, it is completely different. Jake Paul is not regarded to be a real fighter, neither is regarded to be a real boxer. And he's nowhere near the echelon or the pedigree of a man like Anthony Joshua. And this will put more pressure on Anthony Joshua, because the first question everybody's going to ask is this: why is Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua sharing the ring? Why is Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua has no reason being in the ring with Jake Paul, and people have expectations, and these expectations could become so heavy on fight nights. First of all, there is this possibility that Anthony Joshua might be underrating Jake Paul. He might be looking past Jake Paul, because everybody, every boxing connoisseur, fans, media guys are all expecting Anthony Joshua should just come out and blow Jake Paul out of the water, to just come and knock him out. But I think that it's going to go a little bit differently from how people are anticipating. In my opinion, Jake Paul is a very, very good fighter. He's a real boxer. He has been training boxing full-time for the past 7 years. He's young, and above all, he has a point to prove. You know, there is nothing you want to say about Jake Paul right now that can, ridicule what he has done over the years. Jake Paul is a full-time boxer. He has no other job other than boxing. And that is one thing people are forgetting. You might call him the Disney kid, you might call him a prankster, but he doesn't do any of those things anymore. For the past 7 years, Jake Paul has been focused solely on boxing. And if anybody looks past that fact, and if Anthony Joshua looks past that fact, he might have a very, very, very long night. Ultimately, we all expect Anthony Joshua to win, but I don't think Anthony Joshua is going to knock out Jake Paul. He will not knock out Jake Paul. If I told Anthony Joshua is going to win, it's going to be by decision. And I expect Jake Paul to do a lot better than people expect him to do. So it's going to be a very, very amazing fight. It's happening on Friday, next week Friday. It will be live on Netflix. You guys should go. Feel free, watch the fight, enjoy the fight, and we'll be back to talk about the results when it happens.